When you just pick up a package from lensrentals.com, it's time. Keep the box because you can use it for the return. I wonder what could be in here. Woohoo! Lift the handle for an easy return. Oh, wow! The Sony A7c II. Thank you, Lens Rentals, for the A7c II. Although they didn't sponsor this video, if you go to lensrentals.com, you can rent lenses, camera bodies, packages of equipment, and on the checkout, use the discount code Oliver15 to get 15% off your next lens rental. Thanks, Lens Rentals, for the A7c II. If you have happened upon my video, let me tell you, my name is Oliver Weah. I am a TV and film production teacher, father of 4, and a camera enthusiast. And 30 seconds out of the box, there were 2 things that I positively loved about this camera. And 1 minute out of the box, there were 2 gripes of something that I did not like about the camera. What I enjoyed the most right away was when I put it in my hand was the brand new grip. They just changed the texture. It's a little bigger and a little grippier, and my hand was happy. You could feel it in your hand. And I also still liked, yes, the Sony black on black. It looks great. I just love the way this camera looks, like a small, sleek design that is really fun to have. But now my 2 gripes. Within 30 seconds, I discovered that the engineers at Sony thought it would be a good idea to change the way the SD card goes in there. I honestly thought I was going mental when I had it facing away and I'm trying to put it in. Then I realized that they changed it. Why? Because they did. The second thing that I want to gripe about right out of the box is a minute into my shoot in my little town, I went to look at my exposure compensation dial. There's no numbers on there. When I went to dial something in, I couldn't tell visually by looking at it because the numbers aren't there. I had to look through the viewfinder, new and improved, and I like that, by the way. Or I had to look at the side viewfinder. Sony, why did you do these things? But the next thing I wanted to do was try out the 5-axis 7-step technology. And let me tell you, I really loved it. Correction, it is 5-axis 7 stops, not 7 steps. I don't even know why I said that. I had an opportunity while I had the A7c to really push the limits of this 5-axis 7 stops. I wanted to capture the fall colors on the trees, and I also wanted to get their reflection off the creek underneath. To do this, I had to walk across a suspension bridge, which not only bobbed up and down vertically, but kind of swayed back and forth horizontally, which meant that even when I pinched my elbows in, I was constantly moving. But with the 5-axis 7 steps, I was able to shoot at a shutter speed of 1/13 of a second, 1/10 of a second, just enough to slow down the water so that the reflection of the trees could be seen in the water, while at the same time capturing all the colors in the background of the photo. Without this technology, I would not have been able to capture this photo. After 7 days with the A7c II, these 3 groans were driving my frustration level to new heights. The very first groan that I have is the on-off button. Yes, the on-off button. In the A7c, the on-off is at 10 o'clock is off, and then you pulled it to noon, so it's on. With the A7c II, they changed this. They recessed the button a little bit. Off is now at 2 o'clock, and then you pull it to 3 o'clock to get it on. My index finger was very confused as to where to find the on-off button, and it just drove my frustration level a little higher in those opening 7 days. Groan number 2, the formatting of a card. We had Olympic Day at my school, and all I wanted to do was slap a new card into the A7c II and format it. Like the A7c, I made the assumption that all I had to do was go to Setup, page 5 out of 6, and Formatting. No, they moved it. They moved it to Shooting, Media, and Format. Third and final groan with the A7c II comes more with the reviews of the camera. Not one of them mentioned how much time it takes to customize the camera, specifically the function menu, to your liking. I spent a lot of the first couple days with the A7C II digging into the menu to get to the features that I wanted, when what I learned is I should have taken the time to sit on the couch, put my A7C on one side and the A7C II on the other, and just begin to transfer my custom buttons into the function menu. This would have saved me a lot of frustration. My next transition is dedicated to all my 8th grade middle school students. We are back in the studio to talk about 33 megapixels on the Sony A7C II. And if you pair those 33 megapixels with a Tamron 28-75 lens, and you are in Benezet, Pennsylvania during the peak of the fall colors, you can capture incredible images. Now, Benezet, Pennsylvania is known for its elk. So when we got out of our car and we saw people standing and pointing, we walked over and said, "What are you looking at?" They said, "Look over there, you can see some elk." With the naked eye, I could not see anything, but I still grabbed my A7C II and I took a horrible photo. Matter of fact, I took this photo. And then I thought nothing of this photo until I got home, and I thought about cropping in with 33 megapixels. I cropped down to pretty much 1000 by 1000 or 1 megapixel, and you'd be surprised at what I saw. There in the photo are 3 elk, left, center, and right. What I like about this is with 33 megapixels, you can take a really good photo and crop down and see details. Now, let's talk about S-Log3. As soon as I pulled the camera out of the bag at work, I wanted to capture the very first thing in front of me, because I am so thrilled to shoot an S-Log3 10-bit 422 that I captured a picture of the water bottle right in front of me. So let's take a look and see if I actually know how to color grade in this, and could I expose properly. It's just a simple water bottle sitting on my table until it's not. I was really happy with the way this turned out, having tons of light and bringing out the colors of the water bottle. I did it. But then I had to take my camera outside to get some nature photos, because the world is a beautiful place. In this photo, all I want to do is make the yellows come out, the blue of the sky. 2 for 2. And let me tell you, shooting on a sunny day is so much easier. But let's go for one more. This one, could I bring everything to life? I really like that I can see all the details of the wood, that I get a nice exposure. On a sunny day in S-Log3, this turned out exceptionally well. But how does it hold up when the clouds come in and it begins to rain and it's hard to get a great exposure? Let's see how the A7C II handled these conditions. I just wanted to get my car because it was rainy out. I don't think I exposed enough, but I do like the way it turned out. I'm on shaky ground here. Car going through a puddle. Hey, not bad. I got my car to turn blue. I got the leaves to come out a little bit, and I really did love the color of the mud. But I gotta tell you, it is hard to get an exposure in these kind of conditions. Let's try one more, shall we? You know, upon further review, I think I did an okay job at color grading these in S-Log3. It was fun to take the camera out in 2 varying conditions. And being new to S-Log3, I did okay. Thank you for 3 years of shooting an S-Log2. And now it's time for final thoughts on the A7C II. The time has come to say goodbye to the beloved Sony A7C II. I want to thank Lens Rentals for giving me the opportunity to be the first person to rent it. How do I return my A7C? First, you want to take everything off your camera. If you have a tripod plate, take it off the camera. Take out the SD card. Remove the lens. Put back the lens cap. Put the camera in the camera bag. Make sure the charger and battery in there. Put the camera bag back in the camera box. Put the camera box back into the box that it came in. Then, using the tape, seal it up, slap on the return address, and take that A7C back to a UPS store to ship it back to them. Thanks Lens Rentals for a great experience. Does technology drive creativity, or does creativity drive technology? This was a thought that rattled around in my head for the 7 days that I had the Sony A7C II. And then I came across an old pair of running shoes. These are great shoes and I love them, but it reminded me, when I buy a new pair of running shoes, the first thing it does is it makes me more motivated to go out there and run, to feel the difference between the new running shoe and the old running shoe. And with the A7C II in my hand, that's exactly what it did. I wanted to take the creativity and the technology of the camera and jump out of a literally moving car to go over a guardrail to take pictures of a fall landscape. Or I wanted to say at the restaurant, hey, can I go behind the counter to do a slow motion shot of you pouring beer? All of the advancements in the technology of the A7C II began to drive my creativity that I wasn't able to touch upon in the A7C. And this is exactly why you should get a new camera. But at the same time, the price of the A7C II is slightly out of my reach. So for now, I think I'm going to keep using my old A7C and use it because it is a well-worn-in shoe that I like to have. Once I've saved up enough pennies and dimes and things, chances are I am going to invest in the A7C II because it will drive my creativity, and technology and creativity go hand in hand. What camera body do you think you're going to pick up next? Will you get the A7C II or will you hang on to your A7C? Leave a comment down below and stick around to watch a wonderful S&Q of the sunset shot in S-Log 3. We'll see you guys in the next one.